And the personification of Bhumi Devi, she was greatly under the circumstances. And so, assuming the form of a cow, Bhumi Devi approached Lord Brahma. And she was weeping to invoke the mercy of Lord Brahma. And when she grieved, she explained the situation. So then Lord Brahma, on behalf of the demigods, he approached Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who is residing in the Sweta Deep planet, as a planet in this universe where Lord Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, resides. Kshirodakshai Vishnu, he is the super soul in the heart of all jivas. And also he is the source of all of the incarnations of the Lord in the material world. So Lord Brahma, he approached Kshirodakshai Vishnu, and the demigods they began to worship the Lord by chanting the Purusha Shukta prayers. So along with all of the senior demigods, Lord Brahma was there, Lord Shiva was there, and Bhumi, they began chanting Purusha Shukta. The Purusha Shukta prayers are Vedic mantras. And in our ISKCON centers, in the elaborate worship, archana of the Lord, like Lord Manasinghadev, and during special occasions, the Purusha Shukta prayers during the deity installation, Purusha Shukta prayers are chanted. So they chanted Purusha Shukta prayers. And then there was a response from Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu explained that very soon he would appear in this world, as Krishna explains himself. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he explains in Bhagavad Gita, yada yada hi dharma shadlani bhavati. When there are discrepancies in the practice of dharma, adbhutanam adharmasya, and when there is rise in the religion, tadatmanam srijami aham, at that time I appear. Paritranaya sharunam, to deliver the devotees, vinashaya cha duskritam, to destroy the, annihilate the miscreants, dharma samsthapanataya, to establish the principles of religion, shambhavami juge juge. So Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, he's mentioning that he's going to appear. And at that time he instructed all of the demigods to, prior to the appearance of the Lord, to take birth in the material world, in the pious families, and in specifically in the Yadu dynasty. So Kshirodakshai Vishnu, he's an expansion of Lord Krishna. Kshirodakshai Vishnu, he's what's called a Purusha avatar. There's actually 6 kinds of avatars. We won't go into detail this evening. We'll focus specifically on Krishna avatar and Krishna's appearance. So Purusha avatars are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's Mahavishnu, Karanadakshai Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Here, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the Shayan Vishnu, in the great Sri Vaishnava temples here in South India, Shayan Vishnu is reclining. He's worshipped by Lord Brahma and the demigods, Lakhi Devi, as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. He's also Purusha avatar. He's residing on the Garbha ocean. And then in this universe there is Svetadvipa, the ocean of milk. Kshirodakshai Vishnu, he's residing there. And then Mahavishnu, Karanadakshai Vishnu, He's residing on the Karanabdayi, on the causal ocean, from which all of the universes are emanating from the pores in his skin and from his breathing. Karanadakshay Vishnu. So Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining the different Vishnu avatars. Specifically, the 10 avatars of Lord Vishnu are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Now they appear in different ages. Like, for example, the avatar of Matsya, Kurma and Narasinghadev, they appear in the Satya Yuga. And Vamanadev, Parasuram and Lord Ramchandra, they appear in the Treta Yuga. And Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, they appear in the Dwarka Yuga, at the end of the Dwarka Yuga. Now Srimad Bhagavatam explains that amongst these different avatars, Lord Krishna is distinctly special because he is called Swayam Bhagavan, which means the source of all avatars. When in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyas Muni is listing the different avatars of Lord Vishnu, he explains that Ete Changsha Kala Pongsha. All of these different avatars, like I mentioned, Matsya and Vamandev and Kurmadev, Ete Changsha Kala Pongsha. These are all expansions of Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. However, Krishna, he's the original personality of Godhead. He's not an expansion. And all expansions of the Lord and all incarnations, they are expansions of Lord Krishna. We can see in the Goswami Grantha, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Srila Rupa Goswami, he's explaining that Sri Krishna is Okila Rash Amrita Murti, which means he's the embodiment of all loving mellows. In the purports to these verses, Srila Prabhupada explains, here we have a light globes. Is it a light globes? So manifesting some energy, electrical powerhouse, as much as required. But actually, in the powerhouse, there's unlimited, there's so much energy. But just for the specific purpose, and so much power is manifest. So in that way, for specific purposes, Lord Vishnu appears. Like Paritranaya Sharanam Nrsimha Avatar, he appears to vanquish Hiranyakashipu, and he saves Prahlad Maharaj. When we eternally worship Lord Nrsimhadev in that form. That's an eternal form, Lord Nrsimhadev. He performs that specific lila. Similarly, Varahadev, he comes to firstly rescue the earth which had fallen in the Garbha ocean, and he assumes the form of a boar with tusks, Lord Varahadev, and he performs that specific objective of rescuing the earth and killing the first of the demons, the brother of Hiranyakashipu. His name is Hiranyaksha. So he performs that specific function. So in this way, the different Vishnu avatars, they come to perform a specific purpose. However, Krishna, when he appears, he performs a variety of pastimes, and he demonstrates a variety of loving exchanges. Just like Krishna is worshipped as Bal Gopal, his childhood pastimes in Vrindavan. Now we see other avatars of the Lord that they don't have childhood pastimes, like the appearance Lord Nrsimhadev. He doesn't have a parents, and he doesn't have childhood pastimes and growing up and other pastimes. Lord Varahadev, they come for a specific purpose, although they're the Supreme Lord Vishnu. But when Lord Krishna appears, he performs so many extraordinary pastimes to attract the devotees to surrender to his lotus feet in loving reciprocation. So Lord Krishna is worshipped and he's loved in 5 different mellows. Vatsalya Ras and Sakya Ras and the Madhurya Ras and Santa Ras, and in various ways. Like one can become one can worship Lord Krishna in the mood of a friend. That's called Sakyaras, like the cowherd boys in Vrindavan. The cowherd boys. They go on the picnics with Krishna and Balaram, and they take the calves, and they have picnics on the banks of the Jamuna, and they sometimes wrestle with Krishna, just like a friend. And Krishna, that's called Sakyaras. And Krishna, he's loved, he's worshipped also in the Vatsalya Ras. Vatsalya Ras is a parental mood, just like Mahajasoda and Nanda Baba. They consider Krishna their child. And Mahajasoda, she takes Krishna on her lap and she feeds him breast milk. So this is called the Vatsalya Ras. And there's the Madhurya Ras, where Krishna, he has the consorts. He has the Gopigan, the milkmaids, the cowherd maids of Vrindavan. They worship Krishna in the conjugal mood. And Krishna is also worshipped by 16,108 Mahishigon, the Dwarka Ranis, the queens of Dwarka. So in this way, Krishna, in the Krishna Lila, Krishna Avatar, he provides all the manifest varieties of the moods in which God can be loved. And this is the teachings of the Goswamis. And in this way, the Goswamis, instructed by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are explaining the Krishna Tattva, Bhagavad Tattva, Krishna Tattva, as presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, and one can worship the Lord in the most intimate form, in the most confidential and intimate form of loving exchange. And for this reason, Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan, the original personality of God, in whom all of the different rasas and emotional mellows are reposed. When Devaki was married, she was going on the chariot which was being drawn by her brother, Kamsa. As is the tradition in the Vedic society, the newly wedded bride, she's feeling somewhat hesitant going to the home of her husband and her father-in-law in order to give her encouragement and support. Her brother would accompany her. Actually, there was quite a huge dowry that Vasudev had received upon marrying Devaki. Like, for example, 200 maidservants, along with Devaki. 200, they were queens. He was a king. Vasudev is a king, Kshatriya. 200 maidservants, so many chariots and elephants and horses and goats and cows, a huge dowry all going along in that procession. And Kamsa, he was personally driving the chariot of Vasudev, taking Devaki to the home of her father-in-law. And at that time, there was a voice from the sky. It was called Akashvani. Kamsa, you are such a fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, and you do not know that the 8th child of your sister will kill you. So hearing this, Kamsa immediately became aghast, and he took his sword, the Kshatriyas. Nowadays, in the modern times, you can't cruise around with a sword, but in the Vedic culture, the Kshatriyas, they carried a sword with them all the time. You ever seen anyone walking with a sword? The chief minister or the parliamentarians are carrying a sword? This is a modern age. We're not qualified. But in the previous ages, the countries, they carried a sword with them. If you go to the museums, maybe there's a big museum in Hyderabad, in Kolkata, a big museum, and you see the swords that the Rajputs and the kings, they would carry. Even we can't lift that sword. So he took his sword, immediately he was going to behead his sister. So seeing the predicament, Vasudeva, he thought what to do. So he began to induce Kamsa not to kill his sister. First he began speaking about philosophy. Jatashahi dhruvam mritu dhruvam janma mritasya. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, one who has taken birth, death is certain. It's only a matter of time. And then he began to explain that you're great. He began to praise Kamsa, that you're a great warrior and a very powerful king, and you've conquered so many enemies. But to kill a woman who's innocent, harmless woman, this is against the principles of Kshatriya Dharma, and on her auspicious wedding day. So if you were to do such a thing, it would bring ill repute and your reputation would be destroyed. But still Kamsa was not convinced. So then he said, look, at the moment you are under no threat from your sister. So you shouldn't act in an impulsive way and kill her. And in the future, the prediction said that you will be killed by the 8th son of your sister. So there's no immediate threat from your sister. And in the future, whether there will be sons or not, we have to see. And even if there are, then Vasudeva, he said that I will personally bring every child, every son born from Devaki before you, and you can do the needful. So hearing that, Kamsa, he became somewhat pacified because he understood that Vasudeva was a very noble Kshatriya and that he would keep his word. So in this way, they carried on to the home. And then after some time, the first child was born to Devaki, and Kamsa, Vasudeva, he took that first child of Devaki, he took to Kamsa. And seeing that Vasudeva had so much integrity, that even under the circumstances of his personal suffering, he brought the child to Kamsa. Kamsa, seeing that behavior of Vasudeva, he actually felt compassionate toward Vasudeva. And he said, look, child would kill me, so this child, I'm under no threat from this child, so you take this child and you go home. And Vasudeva did. Now, interestingly enough, Srila Narad Muni, he had heard about the compassion of Kamsa, and in order to expedite, in order to quickly bring about the appearance of Lord Krishna, Kamsa, Srila Narad Muni, he went to Kamsa and he said that Maharaj, in Vrindavan, Nanda Maharaj and all of the Brajavasis, they've appeared in Vrindavan. Actually, they are all demigods. And the members of the Yadu dynasty who are taking birth and appearing here, the Yadu dynasty was an extraordinarily large dynasty, actually. In fact, after Krishna's departure, he had to personally arrange a fratricidal war amongst the members of his own family, the Yadu dynasty, because there was no other way that they could be removed. So they were extremely powerful clan. dynasty, the Yadu dynasty. And Srila Narad Muni, he explained to Kamsa that the Yadu dynasty, they're all demigods. So hearing this, Kamsa, he became greatly anxious and thinking that all of these demigods have appeared, so the Lord Vishnu, he may appear at any time. So in this state of anxiety, Kamsa, he imprisoned Devaki and Vasudeva in the dungeon in Mathura, where his capital city was, in the dungeon. And then every year, Devaki, she gave birth to a son, for 6 sons. Devaki gave birth. And each of them was killed by Kamsa out of fear that maybe this is the Supreme Lord. And then Devaki became pregnant with the 7th pregnancy. At that time, Anantashesh, Lord Balaram, he appeared in the womb of Devaki. And Krishna, he had instructed Yogamaya, Shakti, Yogamaya, Bhairavi, Yogamaya, Madhuka, he instructed her to arrange for the transferal of Shesha, Balaram, from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini in Vrindavan. Now Rohini is also a wife of Vasudeva. Vasudeva had 14 wives. Rohini and Devaki were 2. So in this way, Krishna and Balaram, actually they are brothers. They're actually brothers. So Lord Balaram here, he was preparing the Devaki. He was preparing the womb of Devaki, the appearance of Lord Krishna. So then, Lord Krishna personally, he didn't appear through seminal discharge. Actually, the Lord can appear in any way he so desires, just like Lord Narasimhadev. He appeared from a pillar. And Lord Varahadev, he appeared from the nostril of Lord Brahma. So the Lord can appear in any way that he desires. So first, Lord Krishna, he appeared in the mind of Vasudeva. And he was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki. Just like when the sun sets in the west, the moon rises in the eastern horizon. And when the Devaki was carrying Lord Vishnu in her womb, then everything became auspicious in the world. There was, in all the towns and villages and pasturing grounds, and in the minds of everyone, there were signs of good fortune. The rivers were full of flowing waters. The lakes were beautifully decorated with lotus flowers. The forests were full with beautiful birds and peacocks, which sang in sweet voices. And the peacocks were dancing very attractively. The pleasant breezes carried the aroma of different flowers, and everybody on the planet was feeling jubilation and ecstasy because of the appearance of the Lord. In the heavenly realms, the Gandharvas and the Kinnaras were singing. And in Siddhaloka, the Charanas were offering prayers, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The great sages and munis and rishis, they were showering flowers from the higher regions onto the planet Earth. And then Lord Krishna, in the middle of the night, Janmashtami, Titi Janma Ashtami, the 8th day, some are celebrating today, we're celebrating tomorrow night, in ISKCON Hyderabad, Attapur, Abits, and Lord Krishna, he appeared in the middle of the night. So the serious devotees of Lord Krishna, they will perform a fast, upavash, tomorrow all day until the midnight, when Lord appeared. And when he appeared, his appearance was very extraordinary. He had four arms, and he was holding the various symbols of Lord Vishnu, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And he had a beautiful crown upon his gorgeously luxuriant blackish hair. And he was bedecked with the jewels and emeralds and the Kaustuba gem and the Srivata on his breast. He was dressed in a glittering yellowish dhoti, and his complexion was blackish like a dark cloud. He was wearing the brilliant Vaidurya Muni gem, and he had brilliant armlets and bangles and very gorgeous ornaments bedecking his entire transcendental form. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Ajo Pisan Abgayatma Bhutanam Ishvaro Pishan Prakritim Sham Adishtaya Shambhavami Atmamayaya. Shambhavami Atmamayaya. I appear by my own internal potency. Unlike us, although we are part and parcel of Krishna, Mama Aiva Angsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Shanatana. Krishna explains in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that we are part and parcel expansion of Krishna. Jiva Tattva. Jiva with Jiv Shakti Prakash. And we are the same in quality as Krishna. Just like the vast ocean, this saltwater ocean. And a drop of the ocean water is similarly the same quality, salt water, same in quality. Difference in the quantity. So although we are the same quality as spiritual, Chit Ananda, because we are minute, Anu, very small, then we become influenced by the material energy. And we consider ourselves a product of the material product. This body, maybe we're from Telangana. I'm a Telangana. I'm Australian. I'm a woman. I'm a man. This called the bodily conception. And we're thinking, and we are this body. And we've forgotten our eternal spiritual nature. We've forgotten, we're completely convinced we're this body. And for that reason, we're busy every day, we're working so hard just for maintaining the body. And as long as this misconception continues, we repeatedly take birth in this world. According to our karma, we receive different bodies. Kaumanam yovanam jara tata deha antara prapti. We go through boyhood, through youth, through old age, tata, deha antara prapti, deha antara, we accept another body. And in this way we perpetually wander in the cycle of repeated birth and death. And for this reason Krishna appears in this world. Paritranaya Sharunam, to deliver, to reclaim. He appears to speak the Bhagavad Tattva Jnana. And he instructs all of humanity through Arjuna at Kurukshetra. He says, Janma karma chame divyam evam jogati tattvatah. Those who understand my transcendental nature and birth, my transcendental appearance and birth, Chaktva deha, when you give up the body, puna janmanayati. You don't take birth again, mameti pandava, but you attain me. So the purpose of human life, as distinct from all of the other species, is to revive our relationship with Krishna by practicing Krishna consciousness, which specifically is recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is also Krishna avatar, and he appeared 500 years ago to freely distribute the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is a great mantra for deliverance. And today, most respected residents of Singapore village, Telangana state, you can see the potency of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because even people in the foreign countries, as a result of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, they have revived their relationship with Krishna and have become Krishna's devotees and are preparing in this life to return to the eternal, the spiritual world with Krishna, to remain there eternally and become liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So if this perfection is possible even for those people in the foreign countries, what to speak of the highly respected residents of Singapore in Telangana. Eneche Oshad Maya Nashi Bado Lage. Mahaprabhu explains that I have bought the medicine, Eneche Oshad. Eneche Oshad, I bought the medicine, which Maya Nashi Bado Lage destroys the illusion of the bodily concept. I am this body, I am a woman, a man, Australian. This all can be evaporated by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which was personally given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shlok Nam Bali Lai Mahamantra Shalo Nam Bhai Trish Akai Tantra. This is the process of the Kali Yuga. Chanting the 16 names of the Lord and 32 syllable Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So in this way we can revive, not that we become God. We don't become God, because God never becomes God. He's always God. And God, He never falls into bodily concept like we have. Because He's the Mayeshwara, He's the master of the material energy. Devi Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya, the material energy, Maya, which bewilders us and induces us to forget our eternal spiritual identity, that is the external energy of Krishna. So it cannot affect him, just like a magician on the stage. He performs the magic tricks and all of the audience are astonished, but he is never astonished by his tricks because he's performing them. So in this way, Krishna never becomes influenced by the material energy, in the same way that the sun can never become covered by shadow. But when we turn our back to the sun, then very quickly we become covered by shadow. Or when the sparks of fire, when they separate from, although they're as hot as the fire, the spark, spulinga, the spark, It's as hot as it is fire. It can ignite the spark. But when it separates from the big fire, very quickly it extinguishes, separated from the fire. So in this way, the minute jiva, living entity, we become influenced by the material nature and we forget. And then this is the cause of our suffering actually. It's the cause of our work. We're very, very busy. We're very busy going to the office, going to the place of work, or the market, or going to the college. We're very busy because we want to reduce all of the miseries in our life. But actually the cause of all the miseries is forgetting our relationship with Krishna. When Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada inquired from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ke ami, who am I? Kene amare jorito putra, iha nahe jane kemon hito hoy. Who am I? Why is suffering forced upon me? If I do not know this, what is the use of anything? Well, what's the cause of my suffering? But even in the most advanced colleges, institutes of learning, you will not find the subject of the cause of suffering. The cause of suffering. We're just trying to immediate solutions, get money and solve my problem. What's the cause of all problems? Forgetting our relationship. Mahaprabhu, he responded to Sanatana Goswami, Krishna Bhuli. Krishna Bhuli, forgetting Krishna. Krishna Bhuli, Shei Jiva, Anadir Bahirmoko, Ota Eva, Maya, Tare Deva, Shangsha, Dukha. This Shangsha Dukha, this misery of this material world, is a result of becoming attached to the material energy. We become attached to the enjoyment available in this world through the senses. We become addicted to that, being devoid of knowledge of our relationship with Krishna and acting in the capacity of Krishna's servant. And it's these efforts that we make to enjoy the material energy. They are the cause of our suffering. This is Gita Badesh, 2nd chapter. Bhogashaya Prashaktanam Saya Parita Chetasam. What's that one? How does that one go? Yeah. Dukha Yonaya Evate. Yahi Shamspasha Ja Bhoga. Dukha Yonaya Evate. Sri Krishna, 2nd chapter Bhagavad Gita. Shamspasha Ja Bhoga. The pleasure we get from contacting the senses with their objects, at seeing beauty, tasting rasa, smelling fragrance, hearing the sound, that's called Shamspasha Bhoga. Enjoyment of the senses contacting the objects, Shamspasha Bhoga, Dukha Yonaya Evate. That is the place when all misery is generated. This is not my opinion, this is the statement of Sri Krishna. Shamspasha Bhoga, Dukha Yonaya Evate. The cause of all our suffering is our addiction to the material enjoyment. And we've become addicted to the material enjoyment because we've given up our eternal function of serving Krishna and loving Krishna. And when we again revive our capacity to serve Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Actually, service to Krishna begins by chanting Hare Krishna, and that's the ultimate service. Just by chanting Hare Krishna, you can attain all perfection. Just by chanting Hare Krishna. Kirtanat eva Krishna sha mukta shanga param prajet. The Bhagavad explains. Kirtanat eva Krishna sha. Just by chanting the names of Krishna, mukta shanga, you can get liberated from the entanglement in this material world, param prajet, and attain the supreme abode just by chanting Hare Krishna. So in this way we can perfect our life and we can again relish the Sheba Shuk Anon, the Brahma Anon, the happiness which comes from connecting to the Supreme. As Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Shabrahma Joga Jugdatma When we're connected to the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Lord in yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Shabrahma Yoga, Jukta Mam, Shukam Akshayam Ashnute. One enjoys happiness that never ends. Unlike the happiness in this material world, which has a beginning and an end. It comes and goes so quickly that we become disappointed very quickly with the happiness of this material world. It's always a letdown. It's always not as good as we hoped it would be. But again, because of the illusory energy, we think that no, I will be happy in the future. I just have to arrange this and arrange that. But the material products can never give full satisfaction to the hankering soul. That desire of the soul can only be fulfilled when we come in contact with the Supreme Soul through Bhagavad Bhakti, practice of loving devotional service to the Lord. So Lord Krishna, he appeared in this way. His appearance is very extraordinary, not like a usual birth where the child is in complete decapacitated state and cannot do anything and simply lying there, sometimes crying, cannot do anything. It takes several years before the child can even function like an ordinary human being. But Krishna, from the very moment of his appearance, he was demonstrating his opulence as Parameshvara, the Supreme Lord. So after appearing in this way, actually he explained, he spoke, he just appeared, he began speaking. Bhagavad Tattva, he began explaining to Devaki and Vasudeva that in previous lives you worshipped me as Sutapa and Prishni, and you performed great austerities for 12,000 years. And I appeared to you in this form, and you sought a benediction from me that I would become your child. So I became your child. I promised to become your child on 3 occasions. Firstly, as Prishni Garbha, Lord Vishnu, who incarnated as the child of Sutapa and Prishni. And then as Kardama and Aditi, actually Kashyapa and Aditi, I appeared as your son. And now for the 3rd time, I am appearing, the son of Devaki, Devaki Putra, Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva, as Sri Krishna. And Krishna was, he displayed his 4 arms and demonstrated his opulence as the Supreme Lord to convince Devaki and Vasudeva that he actually was that Parameshvara, Supreme Personality of Godhead, for whom they had prayed to appear as his child. Now, feeling great anxiety because he had appeared, and they were, for this reason, Krishna appeared in the prison house in the dungeon of Kamsa in Mathura Nath. He appeared in the dungeon for this reason, because Devaki and Vasudeva, they were imprisoned by Kamsa. And so Devaki, she requested Krishna that you should change this form of great opulence and appear as a normal child. Otherwise, we will attract so much attention. So Krishna at that time, he assumed the form of a newborn baby. And before that, he requested, he instructed Vasudeva to take him to Vrindavan from Mathura. It's not such a long distance, but it took almost the entire night for Vasudeva to walk. It was a stormy night. He had to cross the Jamuna. It was flooding. And he took Krishna to the house of Nanda Maharaj, the king of the cowherd men in Vrindavan. and he exchanged Krishna with the child which had been born of Majasoda. And in this way, everyone assumed the next day that Krishna had appeared and taken birth from the womb of Jasoda in Vrindavan. Now, Srila Prabhupada is commenting in this connection that this is indicating the special mercy of Krishna, that even though he was born in the royal order as the son of Vasudeva, who was a king, a Kshatriya, he immediately arranged for the transferal of his form to the village environment of Vrindavan, wherein he enjoyed the casual village-like environment. If you lived in the village, I lived in village many years, East Bengal, Purva Bengal Bhumi. There, people have homes, they don't even have a wall. They don't have a wall around their house in the village. People don't have a wall. It's a city. In the city, you live in the apartment block, there's a big wall, there's security guards, no one can enter. But in the village, people, they don't even have a wall. And many times in the village I see people just walking through the yard. People, they're walking through the yard, going to their destination. They walk through your courtyard. This is a common thing in the village. So the village life means that one is very accessible. So Krishna made himself so accessible to all the residents of Vrindavan. Braja Janaranjan. Actually, they're all eternal devotees. They all appeared there to participate in his pastimes. And he made himself accessible. Every day he would go to the banks of the Jamuna with the cowherd boyfriends. And there were thousands of cowherd boys. And there were millions of cows. Millions and millions. And even the cows, they're the eternal devotees of Lord Krishna. And they also appeared in the form of cows in Braja Bhumi, in order to associate with Krishna. And Krishna, he would call the cows with their respective names. He knew the names of the millions of cows. And when he would call Surabhi and Gandharvika and Vaiduri, he would call the names of the cows. They would all respond by mooing. Moo, moo. This was the enjoyment. Braja Bihari. In this way he enjoys. Gopi Janaranjan, Jamuna Tira, Banachari is enjoying in Vrindavan in this way. Prabhupada actually comments that in this way Lord Krishna is more merciful even than Lord Ramchandra. Because Lord Ramchandra, he appeared in the royal palace and it was not accessible for all of the citizens and everyone to associate with him being the royal prince. But Krishna, the simple cowherd boy, he was approachable by all of the residents of Vrindavan. The simple cowherd boys, the uneducated, simple cowherd maidens, were able to have loving relationships with Krishna. The Brajavasis. And in the Govardhan Leela, we hear Krishna for 7 days. He held Govardhan Hill with a small finger. He held for 7 days, and all of the Brajavasis were able to associate with Krishna and have his darshan and interact with him uninterruptedly for 7 days in the Govardhan Leela. So Krishna Lila is very special because in Vrindavan, Krishna is worshipped in the informal mood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami, he explains that Gokule Keval Roti or Shadjagyan Hin Puri Dware Vaikund Ade or Shadjagyan Pravin. This is a Bengali verse. He's explaining that Puri Dware, in Puri Dware, the two Puris, Puri Dware, that's Mathura Puri and Dwarkara Puri, are Sharja Gyan Pravin. there is the conception that Krishna is the supreme Godhead. Just like in Mathura, in the dungeon of Kamsa, Krishna, he appeared with the symbols of Lord Vishnu, bedecked with beautiful jewels and ornaments and a crown, indicating the ornaments of the supreme Godhead. And Devaki and Vasudeva, they understood he's the supreme Bhagavan. In Dwarka also, the Dwarka Ranis and the residents of Dwarka, like Narad Muni, they understand that Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan, the supreme Godhead. And they worship him in a reverential mood. A reverential mood. They offer prayers and obeisances. But in Vrindavan, where Krishna is worshipped in the intimate mellows, the residents of Vrindavan, they do not treat Krishna like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They treat him like their equal or inferior. Just like the cowherd boys, they wrestle with Krishna and sometimes they defeat him. And Ma Jasoda, in the morning, she cooks breakfast where she bathes Krishna and she chants various auspicious mantras to protect Krishna from ill omens. And she's thinking that I have to take Krishna and give him the milk of my breast because he's hungry. Ma Jasoda, she is not worshipping Krishna with prayers of veneration. She's simply dealing with him like her child. And Krishna actually, he enjoys this type of love, this type of service as the most pleasing. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayo Tatdama Vrindavanam Ramnakachit Upashana Brajabadu Bhagena Jakalpita. The great sage Chakravarti Thakur, he has explained that Aradha Bhagavan, the most worshipable form of Bhagavan, Aradha Bhagavan, Brajesha Tanaya, is the darling son of the king of Braj, Tadama Vrindavanam, and his residence is Vrindavan, Ramna Kachit Upashana. The most pleasing type of worship is that which is Braja Vadu Bhagenaja Kalpita, that which is rendered by the cowherd maidens of Braja, who do not consider Krishna God, but simply consider Krishna the cowherd boy of Braj, and love him without any sense of obligation, but simply out of spontaneous affection. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes that as Keval Prem. Gokule Keval Roti Aishadya Gyan Heen. In Gokul, in Vrindavan, Keval Roti, there is simply spontaneous affection, Aishadya Gyan Heen. There is no conception that Krishna is God. Keval Shuddha Prem Aishadya Jane. In Vrindavan, there is only affection and there is no concept of reverential love. Even when Krishna displays opulence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it does not disturb the intimate and familiar relationship that the resident. Like, as you are all aware, Krishna and Balaram, they returned from the pasturing grounds, and Balaram said to Jasoda Ma that, hey Ma, today Gopal ate clay. And Ma Jasoda inquired from Krishna, did you eat clay this morning? And Krishna said, no, Mother, Balaram is simply making a false case against me. And so in order to assess the verity of the claim, Ma Jasoda, she requested Krishna to sit on her lap and open. He sat on her lap and she said, open your mouth. She was looking for remnants of clay And what did she see in the mouth of Krishna? You are all scholars of the Bhagavat. I know you know. She saw the Virat Rupa. She saw the whole cosmic manifestation, including the Pradhan, the Mahatatra, Shri Bhuvan, the 14 planetary systems, all of the various universes, all of the incarnations she saw in the mouth of her child. Momentarily, Ma Jasoda was somewhat astonished. And actually she exclaimed that, oh, why am I wasting my life in family life? In Braj, I should be practicing sadhana and cultivating Atma Tattva. That's very, you have no time for practicing sadhana and tapasya. You have to feed your child. And in this way, quickly, she didn't give much significance to the demonstration of the universal form in the mouth of Krishna. In fact, do you know how many people she told that to? How many people did Ma Jasoda go and tell that my child Gopal, Nanda Dulal, he opened his mouth and I saw the universal form? How many people did she share that with? She didn't tell anybody. Now, respected mothers of young children here in this august assembly, if your child sitting on your lap opened his mouth and showed the universal form, certainly it would appear on your Facebook page and it would go viral all over the world. And probably you would never forget it for the rest of your life. You would always, like a mad woman, be saying, he showed the universal form in his mouth. You would never forget it. Ma Jasoda, she didn't even tell anybody. What does that mean? That means that she's so deeply immersed in Vatsalya Prema, in the realization that Krishna is my child, and I am in love with Krishna in such deep maternal affection, that even such an extraordinary demonstration of opulence is insignificant to her. Keval Shuddha Prem, Aisha Janachane, Aisha Jadekleo, Nija Shambhanda Shemane, Aisha Jadekleo, even he demonstrates his opulence as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nija Shambhanda Shemane. Simply she's absorbed in the Shambhanda, the intimate relationship that he is my child. Now this type of affection can be revived in our hearts also by following the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Goswamis of Vrindavan as given to us by Srila Prabhupada. So if we practice Krishna consciousness following the instructions found in the books of Srila Prabhupada, which the founder Acharya of ISKCON, who spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, this is an unprecedented phenomena. Even though Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago here in Bharat Bhumi, Krishna consciousness never expanded beyond the borders of India for 5,000 years, and only Srila Prabhupada, the ISKCON founder Acharya, who, fulfilling the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared 500 years ago in Gaur-Mandal Bhumi, modern day Paschim Bengal, West Bengal, in Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, who came to freely distribute Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he predicted Prithividyache Jota Nogodadi Gram, in every village and town on the world, on the planet, Prithividyache, Shabatra Procha Hoide Mornam, my holy name will be spread and preached. And Srila Prabhupada, the empowered representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and dearmost devotee of Lord Krishna, he spread the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, all over the world in an extraordinary manner in the aged period of his life. 70 years old, he traveled the world 14 times in all of the major cities of the world, which probably you will never even be able to visit, like New York, Paris, Sydney, Los Angeles, London, in every major city, even Moscow, every major city of the world. Prabhupada established temples of Radha Krishna. He also established a temple in Melbourne, Australia, where Prabhupada personally carried the deities and installed the deities of Krishna, Radha Ballabha and Sri Sigonika in Melbourne, Australia. And he, after installing the deity, he said the people of Melbourne have become fortunate because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared here, and most respected residents of Singapore village, Telangana, one of those fortunate people from Melbourne, is here this evening describing and discussing with you the glories of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. We hope you have enjoyed the presentation. Thank you very much. Sri Krishna Janmashtami ki joy.
Hare Krishna. It is so enlightening. It's not just the narrative story what Prabhuji has given today, Krishna's appearance. Along with that, Prabhuji brought out so wonderful lessons with philosophical understanding, which all help us to prepare our mood for tomorrow's Janmashtami celebrations as well. So let us express our gratitude by chanting 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Now we will have prize distribution. We had many devotees, headed by Sunita Mataji and team, Amrata Mataji over there, Sunaringa Mataji, both Shravani Matajis, both Supraja Matajis, they also helped out on this entire competitions. So we will be distributing the gifts now. Are you ready with the gifts, Mataji?
Once you read full list, then
yes. Okay, I think the dinner. After this program, we will be having the dinner prasadam under A40 cellar. A40 cellar lo dinner prasadam will be distributed. Now I think most of you doesn't know the winners. Now Prabhuji will announce the all winners' name. After that, group wise, please come and collect the gifts from the flower chiefs.
ఇవాళ శ్రీకృష్ణ జన్మాష్టమి సందర్భంగా మనం ఇక్కడ అందరం కలిసి ఈ పండుగ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. ముందుగా సోఫా నుంచి మన సోఫా ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ కమిటీ సత్య గారు, అలాగే టెంపుల్ కమిటీ ప్రెసిడెంట్ గుప్తా గారు రావాల్సిందిగా కోరుతున్నాం. అలాగే టెంపుల్ కమిటీ మెంబర్స్ ఎవరైతే సోఫా నుంచి ఈసీ మెంబర్స్ అందరూ కూడా వేదిక మీదకి రండి. దయచేసి సోఫా ఈసీ మెంబర్స్, సోఫా వైస్ ప్రెసిడెంట్, సెక్రటరీ, అలాగే మా టెంపుల్ కమిటీ ప్రెసిడెంట్, టెంపుల్ కమిటీ మెంబర్స్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా వేదికపై రండి. నేను విన్నర్స్ మొత్తం అందరినీ ఒకసారి చదువుతాను, కేటగిరీ వైజ్ మళ్ళీ మనం చెప్తాం. అలాగే రజేంద్ర ప్రభు కూడా వేదిక మీదకి రావాలి. రజేంద్ర ప్రభు బీవైసీ రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తూ రజేంద్ర ప్రభు గారు కూడా వేదిక మీదకి రండి. ఇవాళ ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి ప్రత్యేకంగా మనకి ఈ పిల్లలందరికీ కూడా చిన్నారులకి అన్ని కేటగిరీస్ లో కూడా ఈ మొత్తం కృష్ణాష్టమి తాలూకా ఏవైతే కాంటెస్ట్ జరిగిన వారన్నిటికీ కూడా స్పాన్సర్ చేసిన వారు సీతారాఘవరావు గారు, వారు కూడా ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు, వారిని కూడా వేదిక మీద రమ్మంటున్నాను. సీతారాఘవరావు గారు.
Hare Krishna. The winners list as follows. I request all the winners to come and stand this side. So we call you according to the this one, drawing and singing and everything. Sushrita, Anvita Shri, Ahalya, Mahati, Nandana Krishna, Krisha Patnaik, Janaki, Ashrita, Chaitanya Mangala, Abhirama, Mahati, Sushrita again, Ananya, Rishikesh, Neel Madhav, Kusum, Shantika, Nagalakshmi Mataji, Aradhya, Sapna Mataji, G. Srivalli, Nandana Krishna, Sri Sai Sarani, and Hitika, Pushkar, Nandana Krishna again, Mangala, Mukunda Priya, Krisha Patnaik, Chetan Narayan, Sri Ramachandra, Haripriya, Ahalya, Abhirama, Padma Kumari, Shrutigna, Sri Sai Sarani, Rohan Gandhavarapu, Tanishri Pada, Sri Haladini, Suhas, Chinmay, Radhika, and Sushmita and Priya. So these people will stand here now. Now first we'll start with the drawing competition. We'll be calling 1, 2, 3 and consolation prizes. Kindly stand there and come orderly.
ముందుగా డ్రాయింగ్ కాంపిటీషన్లో ఫస్ట్ ప్రైజ్ ఎన్ సుష్మిత, సెకండ్ ప్రైజ్ అన్వితా శ్రీ, థర్డ్ ప్రైజ్ ఏ అహల్య, కన్సలేషన్ ప్రైజ్ ఎన్ మహతి. గట్టిగా కొట్టండి క్లాప్స్. మనకి ఈ కార్యక్రమం అయిన వెంటనే అందరికీ కూడా ప్రసాదం ఉన్నది పక్కనే. సో దయచేసి చిన్నారులు అందరినీ కూడా ఎంకరేజ్ చేయండి. మన అలా కంటెస్ట్ చేసే అవకాశం మనకు లేదు. సో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసిన వాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా మనం గట్టిగా క్లాప్స్ కొట్టండి. Traditional dress. First place goes to Nandana Krishna. Second place goes to Krisha Patnaik. Traditional dress juniors. Third place goes to Janaki. Second place Krisha Patnaik. Second place goes to Krisha Patnaik. Third place Janaki. Next, traditional dress seniors. First place goes to Ashrita. Second place goes to Chaitanya Mangala. Third place goes to Abhirama. Rakhi making juniors. First place goes to N Mahati. Second place goes to N Susmita. Third place goes to juniors Rakhi making Ananya. అవి గట్టిగా చప్పట్లు కొట్టండి, చిన్నారులను ఎంకరేజ్ చేయండి. రాఖీ మేకింగ్ సీనియర్స్ ఫస్ట్ ప్లేస్ గోస్ టు బి రిషికేశ. Second place, juniors Neela Madhav. Third place goes to Kusum. Consolation prize goes to Sanvika. Next category, pot painting. First place goes to Nagalakshmi Garu. Pot painting, first place goes to Nagalakshmi Garu. Second place, Ara. Pot painting, second place goes to Aradhya. Third place goes to Swapna Garu. Traditional dress, third place goes to Abhirama. Pot painting, Swapna Garu. Storytelling. Storytelling.